Really, this call is all about NIDOE Europe. And because you are the General Secretary of NIDOE Europe, I think that you are not only having a lot of information, plus your experience. I think that you are the best person I have to speak with concerning the situation of NIDOE Europe. Because here in Switzerland, we do not have so much information because of the situation of NIDOE Swiss. I don't know if you know a little about it.
Yeah, I'm well informed about the developments in NIDOE Switzerland. And yeah, we'll be willing to take up questions on NIDOE Europe. Thank you very much for having me on board, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you. So, are you willing to also talk about the NIDOE Swiss? Are you also willing to talk about NIDOE Swiss?
I will be talking about NIDOE Swiss within the limits of my knowledge of what is happening at the moment in NIDOE Swiss.
Okay, okay.
What I would not delve into is every chapter, NIDOE chapter is an independent chapter, so we operate a kind of federating unit. So okay. I would not want to interfere in the internal affairs of
NIDOE Swiss.
A chapter that was once one of our best and most vibrant chapters.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So let's start with NIDOE Europe. So when you say NIDOE Europe, what do you mean by NIDOE Europe?
NIDOE Europe is the European wing of the global network of Nigerians in Diaspora Organisation Europe, which was formed under the support of His Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo, who saw the need to galvanize the diaspora potentials in support of national development. So NIDOE as an organization came to be in the 2000s, and since then we have been going through a process of trying to consolidate what has been achieved by several boards. That function is quite enormous. Currently, we have about 12 active chapters in NIDOE Europe.
Okay.
We are still reaching out to other countries to see how to reactivate the activities of Nigerians in diaspora in those countries. But what I have seen so far is that the diaspora is like it's full of potentials. The diaspora is complex because we are finding it difficult to identify the best of Nigerian crops across the border.
I just want to comment. NIDOE Europe is it for all Nigerians in Europe? Is it for all Nigerians in Europe, or for only specific Nigerians that are professionals? If you want to say this.
NIDOE Europe, we have had a very long debate about the membership of NIDOE Europe, and we have come to agree that contribution to national development does not necessarily require particular professional skills.
Okay.
Traditional professional skills like the medical fields, the engineering, the IT, and so on and so forth, they bring a lot of value into what we do in terms of contribution to national development. But we also fall back to the fact that there are people who have great ideas who are not as schooled in the traditional sense of it, but they have great ideas that can move a nation forward. That is why NIDOE Europe has an open door for all Nigerians in Europe who feel confident that they have something to offer their country.
Okay, so it's not like, because before in Switzerland we had something like Nigerian Union Switzerland, and this union was made up of everybody, all Nigerians. But now what you're saying is that the Nigerians that have confidence in their skills should be they have the opportunity to be member of NIDOE Europe. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Exactly, that is what I'm saying.
That implies that
Nigerian unions,
yeah,
and the diaspora network is that the Nigerian unions across Europe deal more with domestic issues that affect the immigrant communities in their host countries,
okay,
and try to keep the culture alive. NIDOE Europe is NIDOE Worldwide is specifically a tool in the hands of government to harness the potentials. The end point, the end goal is to implement what we call the brain gain.
Okay.
Over the years, you have been talking about brain drain, people living the shores of their countries with the best of their skills to enrich other economies. Now, what we are trying to do is to plow back to the country that we call a home. So the difference is that our linkage is more to support the government in the development.
Okay, so what you are saying now, sir, is that NIDOE Europe can also exist while Nigerian Union can also exist. Is that what you're saying? That the Nigerian Union is more for domestic, for cultural stuff, and NIDOE Europe is more for professionalism, for using our profession our professional skills to support development in Nigeria. Is that what you're saying? That it's possible for NIDOE Swiss to exist. NIDOE Swiss can exist. Okay.
Yeah, you have exactly captured my point on that. The two organizations are not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
They are organizations that can exist alongside each other. Actually, every Nigerian in a particular host country should be able to identify with the Nigerian Union for the purpose of strengthening our bonds as a nation.
Because in Switzerland, some years ago, the Nigerian Union of Switzerland was merged, not merged, but somehow was transformed into NIDOE Swiss. I was there when it was transformed. This was during the time of Alhaji Issa Abdullahi. We came to a meeting, to a General Assembly, and they say we should vote or not if Nigerian Union of Switzerland should be transformed into NIDOE Swiss. And we voted, and then we had NIDOE Swiss. So officially, the Nigerian Union of Switzerland does not exist. So if we want to come back to that, I want to ask you, what is the relationship between the NIDOE Europe and the federal government presently?
The relationship between NIDOE Europe, let me say NIDOE Worldwide, and the federal government is at its best at the moment.
Yeah.
We have passed through periods of transitions when successive governments tried to water down the impact of NIDOE as an organization. There were like proliferation of different mushroom and diaspora organizations. We don't have monopoly of diaspora expertise, but at the same time, we see wisdom in achieving a critical mass as diaspora.
Okay.
So, as an organization that is the officially government-recognized diaspora body, it is a challenge for us to actually harness, try to merge with other diaspora bodies to realize the goal for which we are ab initio created. So I think Nigerian government, I'll give you instances. In the past, we have had a situation where returnees who are based in Nigeria create parallel organizations, and there are other parallel organizations existing. I somewhat believe that diversity is an advantage sometimes, but also it could lead to dissipation of effort.
Yeah.
This year, we were very lucky that for the past 2-3 years, a current board of trustees of NIDOE Europe, in collaboration with the board of other continental body, NIDOE America, NIDOE Asia, NIDOE Africa, came together to create a common platform where we can actually engage with government.
Okay, and what's the name of this platform, sir?
It's called NIDOE Worldwide.
NIDOE Worldwide. Okay.
Yes.
This is a different organization.
It is not a different organization. It is just like we have in NIDOE Europe, like we have chapters.
Okay.
At the global level, we have continental bodies.
Okay.
So it's just using it as a communication platform, NIDOE Worldwide, to bring the continental bodies together and ensure that we're speaking from the same with the same voice.
Okay, so also based on that question, sir, you want to tell the strength of relationship between NIDOE Europe and the federal government is strong. Can you say that, sir? Can you confirm that?
The relationship between the
NIDOE Europe,
Worldwide,
yeah,
NIDOE Europe NIDOE worldwide, and the federal government is at its best now, like I said.
Okay.
Last year, NIDOE worldwide, championed by NIDOE Europe and NIDOE America, organized a fully self-funded Diaspora Day in Abuja. And from the offshoot of that celebration, this year, the Permanent Secretary and the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation saw wisdom in making NIDOE the umbrella organization for diaspora engagement.
Okay.
NIDOE was given a kind of a prominent position to liaise with government to organize this year's Diaspora Day, which was very, very successful. And also the government bought into the idea of NIDOE Europe all these years, that NIDOE should be a project-driven organization and not just an intellectual organization where people present papers and then, I mean, Nigerians are very intelligent and we have so many documents, papers, policy papers on how Nigeria should move forward. But this year, the focus was basically on projects. And NIDOE Europe played a very key role to ensure that many projects were on display at this event.
Okay.
The Diaspora Day, which is celebrated on the 25th of July every year in Abuja.
Okay.
So moving forward, actually, there's a very serious discussion.
So do you think that the Nigerians in Europe are are confident about NIDOE Europe to the best of your knowledge?
Nigerians in Europe,
yeah,
like I said, a good number of Nigerians in Europe are interested in their country. It's also a challenge on the part of NIDOE Europe to create the enabling environment and the awareness for people to integrate into this network as a kind of a platform to bring development to Nigeria. It's not everybody that knows about NIDOE, but we are working hard to create enough awareness. There are dissenting voices here and there about the way NIDOE should operate, and the current board of trustees is taking into account, is taking record of all these kind of dissatisfactions and trying to see how best to galvanize the entire diaspora in Europe to do what we know how best to do.
Do you think the expectations of Nigerians in Europe are already been met, or do you think we still have a lot to do? Think what should be the expectations of Nigerians, for example, in Switzerland, from NIDOE Europe?
NIDOE Europe, let me start again by saying that NIDOE Europe is made up of chapters that are like independent federating units.
Yeah.
And the informations actually trickle down through these units because the central body cannot bypass the rules of the independent federating units.
Okay.
So what has happened in the particular case of NIDOE Switzerland is that there was a point in our history where we had a kind of conflict, and NIDOE Swiss was a kind of not aligned with the central body.
Okay.
I think that has affected information flow in the chapter. I would also want to say that the ongoing conflict in NIDOE Swiss has affected also information flow.
Okay.
Because the way we are structured, we channel information through the chapter executives to disseminate to their membership. And remember that when we say federating unit, the moment you are a member of a chapter anywhere in Europe, you are invariably a member of NIDOE Europe.
But you have to pay
because
to register.
A proportion, no, you don't have to register in NIDOE Europe.
Okay.
The moment you're registered in your chapter, you're a member of NIDOE Europe.
Okay, so good.
Now your chapter is required to pay us 35% of its annual subscription to the central body. So the central body, the moment they collect these subscriptions, they will put the names of those who that were submitted by the chapters as members of the central body.
Okay.
So the moment you pay your subscription in your chapter, you are a member of NIDOE Europe.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, sir.